Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Okay, it's Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us on the day before Thanksgiving. We did get a call in. Have you started cooking yet? Yes, someone has started already.
Yeah.
They get the good crowd coming in, I guess. Like Tim's got 22 people coming in his.
Yes.
Well, you've got the new kitchen. So when you've got the
We're
new
gonna-
kitchen,
we're-
everyone
right,
wants to go,
right.
spread
That's
out.
the
And
problem. Fortunately, we put a double oven in the new kitchen. So
you have like a little
Oh,
bar
good.
area too, right?
Yeah.
Don't you have a
Yep.
So people are like, this is where it's
yeah,
at.
this is where we're gonna go. Are they
Yep.
bringing the money to help support this big event that we're throwing on?
That's it. You sound like my husband.
It's
That's what
two-
he says when you
it's two turkeys we
volunteer
had
to
to buy.
entertain. It's a
We'll
whole
get-
investment.
We're going to get the turkey prices a
All
little
right,
later
okay.
on. But that's Tim Draper. Hi, Tim, from
Hey,
Navigant.
everybody, how we doing?
And Melissa Smith from the St.
And
Antoine
everyone's welcome
Communities.
to Tim's house for this holiday season.
No, that's Christmas. Over.
And his address is. I know.
All right, before we get going, Melissa, it's time for a first message from the St. Antoine Communities, please.
Thank you. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know a lot about St. Antoine Community, we are a large long-term care campus located in North Smithfield, and we're on the line of Blackstone, Mass. and Woonsocket. And on our property, we offer an expansive continuum of services that range from assisted living to short and long-term skill care. We have a state-of-the-art rehab center, a private hospice suite, as well as a large secured memory care unit. And the two buildings on our property are the Villa at St. Antoine, which is our 76-apartment assisted living facility, and the Residence at St. Antoine, which is our 180-bed short and long-term skill care facility. So if you're presently at a crossroads with your loved one and trying to determine when is the right time to seek more help and support, preferably not the week of Thanksgiving, you can reach me at 401-767-3500. We are inundated. I am slammed with phone calls. I
bet.
am one human being. I can't possibly meet with everybody. So please be kind if I don't get back to you, and I will happily try to accommodate you in a tour next week.
Now, Tim,
Yes.
with 22 people coming,
Yeah.
how many tables does that, for sitting down purposes?
We're
I'm
gonna rock
thinking?
3 tables. So
Are
we've
you?
got
Okay.
we've got the main table that seats 12. Then I've got a breakfast bar area that we're gonna shove 6 around.
All right.
And then a couple stragglers are
Who's
going to
ever
be
left over.
There's a high top table out in our living room so they can watch football and eat at the same time. 'Cause
So
they're
they'll
gonna
be in 3 different places,
right,
too?
but the beauty of
Wow.
the new kitchen is that it's really open. It's
Okay.
like an open concept.
All right.
So everybody's going to see everybody at all times
Mm-hmm.
during this big event, and the people in the big dining room can see the TV too if they want to watch the football as well. So everybody
all
can
right.
watch football.
Everybody's happy. Huh?
So strategy with like that many guests, honestly, as a guest attending
Yeah.
like an event like you're hosting,
Yep.
I don't expect to have generous portions. I expect to just I'm a guest. I'm just going to have a little nibble of everything and then
We're
be
gonna ask
satisfied.
you
So
to
don't
Keep
stress about.
keep passing.
We're
the
gonna
food
we're gonna ask
on.
you to take turkey home when you leave from my house this
Well,
evening
you've got
because
2.
we had to. It's odd and in between size with
Yeah.
22 people. It's like, do you get a 26-pound bird? What do you do? And I always forget the rule of thumb of how many pounds per person, whatever that rule
And
is.
there's bones inside.
And there's
so you
bones
gotta-
and
yeah.
stuff. So we decided we would get 2 smaller turkeys, and so I called and asked to get 2 15-pound turkeys. Well, they don't make a 15-pound.
and
They
they
don't
laughed.
grow 15-pound turkeys. So I had to get a 16 to 20. So now I've got 2 16 to 20 turkeys in my fridge, which I now have to clean tonight and dress and get ready to go into the oven. While my wife does all the other stuff because she hates doing the turkey prep, but I
Really?
don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind sticking my
Now, have
hand
you
into
thought
the
about,
cavity of a turkey.
We get together with my in-laws every
Mm.
year, and my brother-in-law has taken over one in the oven
Yep.
and one in the fryer-later.
Wow.
And the fryer-later is the preferred bird. Everyone,
Right.
it's so good.
Right. I've got I managed to come in possession of a Traeger smoker grill.
Oh, cool.
Just about a month ago, and I've never used one before. And we kept thinking, you know what? Let's smoke one of the turkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I realized I have no idea how to
do
that.
it.
And I'm not
I
going to
think you'd
experiment
be starting
with the
tonight if
20
you were doing that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I might be. But it's, strategy for us is always just, but my wife is Portuguese, so there is no such thing as family hold back, which is kind of the way I grew up in an Irish environment. You fought for your food if you wanted any. But so there's going to be plenty of food for everybody that's there. and basically it's a buffet. So we have a new buffet area that we'll just put all the stuff out, and people will go and get their things and move to the table. And yeah, we're hoping the flow's good.
You're not going to do arrows on the floor.
We are not
with,
going to
like,
do arrows
painting
on the,
tape.
Nope. We will direct people
Go in
the
order.
right direction. Oh, please go this
I
way.
go to
come
that
around.
level of detail when I entertain.
Oh,
I'm
do
just
you?
letting you know.
That is funny.
Arrows on the
Just kidding.
floor.
I just wanted to give you a laugh.
No, I am. We will not do that. But people will not necessarily all eat at the exact same time. We'll do a
No.
blessing. And
Oh,
then-
well, all right.
This is the age that you need to enjoy because you're at the beginning of the littles.
Yeah.
And you have one little right
Right.
now, and in a short period of time, you're going to have additional littles,
Right.
and that's going to be the real stressful years because then there's going to be little bodies
Right.
jammed in around the legs of the big bodies, and
Yeah.
so enjoy the 22
Right.
adults and one infant at this point.
What's
Yeah.
funny is actually, I'm not. I don't. I think that my middle children with the little is coming. They're coming for dessert because they got to go to her mom's for dinner. My oldest is with her husband. They went to New York to his family so that she could then spend Christmas at our house. And then my youngest, I'm not 100% sure what he's doing. He's the free spirit. His girlfriend's up
Wandering
in
in and out.
Pepperell, Mass. So
All right.
and he lives up near there on the Mass New Hampshire border. So I'm thinking that we're going to see them at some point, but I'm not sure when. So this 22 people is without my own kids.
And I just assumed.
Wow,
Well,
that's
you
funny.
assumed correctly because I
that's
would have assumed
hysterical.
that myself until my
Yeah.
wife and I started counting, and they went, "Well, none of the kids are in this."
We
count."
don't have
I'm
room
like,
for
"Oh
them
my God."
anyways.
Do you know
So
any?
that's
Do you
what
know
you said.
any of them that are coming?
Yeah, we do. We know. It's all the family members.
All right.
My sister-in-law, who actually got married Saturday, will be there with her family, and then my in-laws, my mom, cousins, various cousins and cousins' families and stuff. But we're starting to hear rumors that people have been exposed to COVID, and so now all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe we won't be there, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh no.
They just said it on the news. They're like, "Oh yeah, just in time for the
they're
holiday."
going
This
up.
is nothing new. Take COVID out of this.
Right.
Those have little kids in school and such.
Right.
You've always
Oh,
dealt
yeah.
with the holiday
That's
season.
right.
Stomach bug always hits.
Yep. Yep.
You know, the night before, and it carries with you for the full 4 weeks till Christmas because
Right.
it goes person to person to person in your house.
Right.
Or strep or flu.
Yeah.
This is
So
not.
just enjoy.
Just
Just
spread
sit
the
back and
germs.
enjoy-
It's
spread the
fine.
germs. and
get
the
it
love.
over with before Christmas.
That's right.
Whatever. What's Thanksgiving? You know.
So, growing up in Cumberland, the house my parents had was built in 1970. So the whole big open concept.
Yeah.
No.
No,
Lots
walls
of little,
everywhere.
Lots of
Yeah.
little
lots
rooms.
right.
So, but we were having like a 22 crowd over. We only had a table that fit 6.
Yeah.
Like, what do we do? They took one of the rooms. They cleared everything out, all furniture, and then went down into the basement and got the ping pong table.
Hey, that's not a bad
It's a good
idea.
idea.
Took the net off, brought it up,
Yeah.
laid it out, put a tablecloth over it.
Presto.
Voila.
Banquet
Everyone,
table.
everyone can sit at the table.
It's great. That's a great
And I thought
idea.
you were going to
That's
say, because
great.
that same style house was my husband's grandmother's, and
Yeah.
it literally became like a square of tables
Okay.
around the room. So if you can envision that, because I'm sure
Yeah.
it was the same style house, but like living room, hallway to the kitchen, through
Yeah.
the kitchen, and then the dining room.
Yep.
So it was 20 plus people, but
Yeah.
it was a whole shape
And then
of
we
tables.
use the original dinner table. That's where you put the extras.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, is everybody done with this for now?
Yep.
Okay.
Put it over there. There's no room for it.
And then when you go back for seconds, can someone reach the turkey? Hang on. Someone walk over, grab it, and bring it
See,
back.
this
So-
is how you make the memories.
Right. Now, if
You
now, if
know,
most
all
of the
the-
people leave my house on time, which is what we're hoping,
Set
then
an-
we will
set an
begin.
alarm.
Then we will have the annual airing of Christmas Vacation, which officially kicks off
Kicks off.
the holiday season for us.
That's awesome.
I have to remember to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh
tonight.
yeah, tonight because that's
Great.
the night before.
You're shaking your head at Melissa. Do you not like that?
no,
movie?
you're like my husband. This
Oh,
is
well,
like
there we go. Well,
I
you know,
know,
typical
and I'm
male.
waiting. So we just had a conversation. Actually, I was sharing with him how I was at Navigant yesterday, which I'll get into in a minute, dropping off the wreaths. And whoever I was with Amanda, I've already forgotten his name, was strategizing his wreath, and he said, "I'm doing a Die Hard wreath." And so then we had a big debate over Die Hard being a Christmas movie or not.
It is.
And it's why is it every man thing? Right. Just because there's a Christmas tree in there, just because there was a Christmas party at the time of, but there was a tremendous amount of killing in that movie, which is not
it was
Christmas
great.
themed at all.
Yippee-o-ki-yay. Well, you know the rest.
But I've even seen shirts that say it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off the
off the
Nakatomi
balcony.
Plaza.
And every man laughs. Like this is.
And every man
Everyone
laughs.
laughs. That's right.
Welcome to our world, Melissa.
Do you know? all right,
I'm in it.
Little,
I mean-
little Die Hard trivia. to get the shock look on Alan Rickman's face,
Yep.
they said, okay, Alan, we're going to, on 3, we're dropping you. Okay, 1, 2, and they let him go. So that shock look was
real.
I'm
So
falling.
they really dropped him.
They dropped. Well, he dropped about
But
6
5
feet,
yeah.
maybe, but it was on 2 and not on 3. So he was a little surprised,
A little startled.
a little startled. So that shock look is not acting. It's like,
That's
I'm
great.
falling.
Yeah, there we go.
Little
Method
diehard,
acting.
little diehard trivia for you. All right. Well, we hope you all enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday. How many people coming for you and Melissa? Do you
So
think?
I was supposed to host,
Yeah.
and the plan flipped upside down this weekend, not because of
I was going to say
COVID.
you have a new kitchen. You
I
should
know,
be
right?
doing
Which
it.
was what it was going to be. My 2 nieces who are up in Peabody, Mass, both work at a nursing home. They're high school students, and they got their shift last week and found out that they're working
Low person
Thanksgiving
on
Day.
the totem pole. You work
yeah.
the
Yeah.
holidays.
So my brother-in-law's like, oh, we wouldn't be able to get there until, and they don't get out till 3, probably till
Yeah.
5 or 6. And we just said, or he had said to us, like, do you want us to just host up here? Because it's going to be my husband's side of the family anyways. His parents live up there as well. So I'm like, all right, we'll just flip our plan up there, and it's all going to work out just fine.
See you at Christmas.
See you at Christmas, but no, it's all good.
So you talked about is anyone kicking in at Tim's for a little cash on the side, at
Yeah.
least something under
Have a
the
little
table,
something
something
for
like
the
that.
help.
Well, you'll be happy to know, Tim, that we are not the highest in the nation for turkey.
Really? It seems like it.
Hawaii
They are up this year.
Hawaii and Alaska come in 1 and 2.
Oh, that makes sense.
All right.
Yeah.
So
It's a long flight for those turkeys over the water, over the pond.
Well, it's a 15-pound turkey, so it's a
Yep.
it's small-ish. All right.
Should go
In
there to get your 15
well,
pound.
would have cost me as much.
in Hawaii, a 15-pound turkey is $52.85.
Wow.
Well, we got to
Holy
ship it. We got to
cow.
ship them over.
Yeah.
In Alaska, it drops $10, $42.35 in Alaska for a 15-pound bird.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
So,
That's a lot.
But if you want cheap, or cheapest, I should say, not cheap, but Louisiana and Kansas are tied.
Yeah.
For the lowest price for a 15-pound bird, $27.30 on average.
Yeah. It's crazy. Everything is just so much more expensive. I had turkey shock when I looked at it, and I picked it up, and the guy handed
So
it
you're
to me.
doing 2 turkeys. That's 2 turkeys fitting in your freezer and 2 turkeys
Fitting
Well,
in the
they're-
oven.
just
They're fresh, so we put them in the
defrosting it.
first
Oh, you
shelf.
got fresh.
Yeah,
Okay.
They put them in the first. I moved everything from the bottom shelf of the fridge because they're heavy, and I thought that would be a strain on the shelves.
Yeah.
Moved everything to the top, and then put them on the bottom. They actually fit side by each.
Oh, they're cute. They're friends.
They're friends.
Are they,
No,
are they
they're
holding wings?
they're in separate bags.
It's no
For their
different
protection.
than lobsters. I mean, for those of you that like lobsters, there's
Yeah.
always a picture of like, naming your lobster and having them
Yeah.
hold hands.
You
You're gonna
don't-
have to have
Bert
the
and Ernie,
turkeys.
they're in the fridge right now.
You don't want little turkeys
No.
later on.
I don't think they could. I don't think that could happen right now. I don't think they have any
They're not that
internal organs.
live.
There was a
They're not that
The
fresh.
gizzard.
I mean.
there's an
What do they
old-
call that? It's not the gizzard. So what's the name of that stuff from the inside? There's a name for
the
that.
neck and
Yeah. Anyway, I don't remember.
Yeah,
There's
oh, no, we don't
somebody
know.
will call us.
There's an old joke, though, old prank that makes the round on Facebook this time, and I've seen it like 10 years ago. Someone took like a Cornish game hen
Yep.
and stuffed it inside the turkey, and then brought it out and said, "Oh my God, they killed the turkey! It had the baby inside."
Oh
well,
my God,
now the younger
no.
people are freaking out because, and then they had to comment every day. Look, birds lay eggs. This is not real. This didn't actually happen.
What an awesome prank, though.
Oh, that is a
Sorry,
great
really.
prank.
It's disturbing, but it's.
But the Cornish
many
game
levels.
hen was all dressed. It was all no
Just like a
feathers,
mini
no head.
turkey.
It was a mini
Yeah.
turkey inside the mini dead
Right.
turkey.
Oh, that is funny.
Some people, oh my God, we killed the mom.
See, no, I find that funny, but I'm sure there's a lot of people in the audience going, "Oh, that's just
oh,
disgusting."
that's disgusting.
I think it's gross. I just ended up laughing though. I can't excuse my
It is pretty.
behavior.
Well, they had to clear out like, the gizzards and stuff,
Yeah.
and then get the Cornish game hen and just shove it
Shove it
in
in there, right?
to pull off this
Oh,
prank,
my
which I think
gosh.
is great. It's just
Some
so
people
funny.
cook. Did I hear Dave say he cooked his turkeys in beer?
I don't think he said that.
But that
thought
is a
somebody
thing.
said that they cook turkey
Some people
in
do.
beer.
Yeah.
And so I've cooked chicken in beer. I've never cooked
Yeah.
turkey in beer.
What's the whole like deep frying the turkey and those
Right.
big.
I have had
fryer
a deep fried
things.
turkey once, and it is absolutely
deli-
the
pretty
best.
It is
There's no doubt.
amazing.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's,
but
I
it's
think
such
it's a
a dangerous thing to
misconception.
do.
Oh, it is. Oh, yes, and it's been dangerous.
Fires, yeah.
Yeah, with my
Yeah.
brother-in-law. But it is funny. Everyone always thinks deep fried must mean it's like battered and whatever. That's
Yeah.
not it
No,
at all.
no,
It's just really it's. I guess it's flash cooking
It
it.
does,
Like it's
right.
really
Yep.
a very fast way to cook a turkey, whereas in the oven it takes hours. It's very quick,
Right.
but it's also just it holds the juices in. It's amazing, so
All right,
good.
we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. We're going to talk to Brendan McGarrett coming up in just a few minutes here, but let's get a second message, Melissa, from the St. Antoine communities, please.
Okay, I'm going to pull up my calendar because I know I'm going to get all my dates wrong. I am very excited to announce that we will be partnering with Navigant Credit Union again. I think this is the third time we've done this with you, but it is our 6th annual silent wreath decorating competition. And I just dropped off the wreaths yesterday with Navigant, and they are excited to be able to donate 20 wreaths to our event this year, which it really isn't even about the silent auction piece and raising money. It's more about bringing spirit and joy to the building. The residents look forward to it. The staff look forward to it. So they will be decorating up 20 wreaths, and then we have another 20 or so wreaths that staff are going to be decorating as well. They'll be lighting the main quarter at St. Antoine Residence, 10 Rhodes Ave, starting December 4th, and it'll be on display until, this is why I had to pull the calendar up, I believe the 20th, and then we'll be announcing the winners at that point in time for folks to bring home the wreath that they may have won home for the holidays or to gift away to someone else. But again, not really about the fundraising piece as much as it is about just bringing the spirit of Christmas into the building. And it is such a fun event, so I encourage you, if you're free, swing by 10 Rhodes Avenue starting December 4th or late as the 20th, and either make a bid or just enjoy the display. Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa. And more of the Coffee and program coming your way. Stick around.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
There is nothing like the beauty of a little holiday tree to liven up the holidays. Join us at the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center for its annual Trim-a-Tree classes on Wednesday, November 29th at 1 p.m. or 6 p.m. Create and decorate your very own tabletop boxwood tree. This popular event sells out every year. A light meal is included. Private classes are available for groups of 15 or more. For tickets or additional information, visit Vos True Value Hardware or the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center website.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
We're local and live at 99.5.
It's Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Tim Draper and Melissa Smith, and we're being joined on the phone right now from the Blackstone Valley Call and Time Sports Department. Brendan McGarrett is joining us. Good morning to you, Brendan.
Good morning, Joe. How are you?
I'm well, and how are you?
Oh, it's a little bit rainy out here on my way to PT basketball practice, but I understand we want to talk about the big local sports news of the day.
Yes, and Tim and Melissa, you got questions about this? Feel free to ask Brendan. It's Mount St. Charles. They are jumping ship. They're leaving the Rhode Island Interscholastic League. They're joining the New England Preparatory School Athletic Council. And first of all, Brendan, did you see this coming? Did you hear rumors about this?
Yes, I'll be perfectly honest. Been following this story closely for the last, several months, and every person you talk to about St. Charles was saying that, okay, we're doing this, we're trying to do this. We want to keep our parents abreast of what's going on without showing our hand. But at the end of the day, it was all about waiting for approval from NEPSAC and their governing council. They, I think, in NEPSAC, if I get my timeline correct, they met last Thursday. They officially welcomed Mount St. Charles into the fold and relayed to the school yesterday that starting in 24-25, you can come in.
Wow, that's quick. I mean, that's next season,
Very quick.
next fall. So, the first question we have right off the bat is there is the Mount St. Charles North Smithfield High School co-op team. So, what happens to the co-op team? Does it fall apart or what? Or what do they play?
Well, there are kids who maybe are currently sophomores, juniors on the roster, or even freshmen. They will be allowed, or grandfathered in is the term that the Interscholastic uses, that they will continue to be allowed to play on the co-op until that they graduate. So if the kids desire to come back, but they will not be taking any new kids. And just because, say if you're a junior who has never played football before at Mount St. Charles, or going your senior year and think, I want to play, you will not be allowed to do so because technically they will be a NEPSAC member now. So any current players with still eligibility will have the opportunity to continue playing until they graduate.
Now, Melissa's she's a resident of North Smithfield. Does this throw a monkey wrench into what's going on in the school at all?
Well,
That you might be aware of?
I'm not aware of it. I don't have
Yeah.
a football player for a child,
All
but
right.
but I'm aware of the team, and I thought there would be a larger impact. But you would just share with me. There's only about 3 players right now.
How many players from Mount are on the co-op team, Brendan?
I think they had. Well, someone told me they had maybe no more than 8 on the roster this year, and
All right.
I don't know the exact breakdown in terms of classes, but I don't think Mount St. Charles was pumping in huge numbers
Right.
in that program. But if I go back to maybe 2015 or so, North Smithfield couldn't finish out the season because their numbers were so low, and that's why the co-op with Mount was originally formed to kind of maybe save the North Smithfield football program. I guess we'll see. Time will tell on that front, but for now, I guess they still will be a Mount St. Charles co-op team. It's kind of like the NCAA a few years ago, Joe, when they gave them everybody an extra year because of COVID.
Yeah.
And we will have the opportunity to still stay North Smithfield Mount St. Charles co-op football at least for a few more years, depending on the kids currently.
So, yeah, for at least 3 more years.
Is it, Brendan, is it safe to say that Mount will then basically not have a football team once they join the prep league?
That would be correct.
Yeah.
I think maybe the hope is one day down the road to get a football program on its own. I was doing the research yesterday, and when Mount St. Charles joined the Interscholastic, they were one of the founding members back in the 1930s. One of the first sports they did offer and play and compete in was football, actually, back in the day. So there is history on that front with Mount St. Charles football, but I think right now they're trying to focusing on all the other sports, and obviously the Prep Hockey Academy that has been their driving force now for the last 5-6 years.
Right.
So now joining the new league, the New England Preparatory School Athletic Council. Now I'm just thinking about the amount of money it's going to cost, especially for travel. I'm thinking these
definitely.
North Smithfield kids. Where do they travel? Where are these other schools located, Brendan?
Well, some, like, for example, like there's Worcester Academy, and there's Wheeler School, which is located in Providence. They play a lot of their home games in Seekonk. A lot of them are maybe towards the Boston area, but I guess right now, if you're asking what teams are they going to play starting next year, we don't know right now because, one thing about NEPSAC is you can probably, guess it. So, like, you're not going to play a certain select group of teams for each sports season. You could, it's going to be more based on your, I guess, ability, participation, and kind of go from there, if that makes sense.
Wow, so that's a real not pickle, but a real concern in North Smithfield. In 3 years, do we continue the football program or not? Because those kids coming up won't be able to play in the NEPSAC. They'll have to go to the Interscholastic League. And will there be enough kids to play?
Did I miss what really drove this decision to switch? I didn't read the whole article.
Brendan, what
do you
drove
want to just recap
what
the
drove
decision?
this decision to leave?
I guess, just following, like I said, following it closely and everything.
You got a lot of static there, Brett. There we go. That's better. Go ahead. Start over.
The Interscholastic League and Mount St. Charles kind of had some battles since Mount introduced the Hockey Academy into the fold because you were bringing in a new group of kids who were specifically going to play hockey, but they were going to maybe quote-unquote fly under the Mount St. Charles umbrella, which the league was not really a fan of. And then maybe a tipping point took place last March when the Interscholastic League Principals Committee basically fined Mount St. Charles placed the athletic department on probation because Mount was planning to introduce electives during the day that involved soccer and basketball, and the league thought that those were, examples of tampering and recruiting.
Wow.
And basically, if they're going to be battling over things like this, then I guess, if you're Mount St. Charles, you have to maybe think long and hard about joining a league that will maybe take away some of the headaches.
All right. I don't know if you had a chance to, but any reaction yet from, let's say, Hendricken or LaSalle, who must be thrilled, especially the hockey programs, that Mount's leaving?
Well, I think it's a little bit sad because we are talking about a founding member of the Interscholastic League. It's not somebody who was just joined 10 years ago and decided, we're going to do something else. There's a history of Mount St. Charles competing in the Interscholastic League, and I think that's a little bit sad. There's a little bit of a hole in that department, but I haven't heard too much scuttlebutt from the other private schools about what's going on, or even some of the neighboring schools, like maybe even Woonsocket or Burwell or North Smithfield. It's I guess if you're Mount, you probably wanted to get this news out there before Thanksgiving, give something to talk about at the old dinner table. But, I guess if you're Mount, though, you have a big undertaking to do because, you have to kind of get this program up and running because, like you said, Joe, next September is going to come quickly.
It will. All right, Brendan McGarry from the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times. Thanks for joining us for a few minutes this morning talking about this decision of Mount St. Charles to leave the Interscholastic League and join the other league, the New England Preparatory School Athletic Council. Thanks for joining us, Brendan.
Joe, one more thing before I sign off. We do have a big, the grand finale of our WON high school football coverage tomorrow.
Cumberland Woonsocket tomorrow.
Are they home or away?
Cumberland is. It's at Cumberland this year.
Is that Cumberland? Okay, well, that's...
Which
I
home,
realized
yeah.
the
But 10 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be at Tucker Field for the big game. So, and look for...
And North Smithfield's playing tonight.
That's right. Who does North Smithfield Mount play tonight, Brendan?
North Smithfield's playing Davies, who
Davies,
they're coming off of the Division IV Super Bowl the other night.
Ooh,
so
tough game for them, for North Smithfield. So
tough game. And Cumberland's coming off losing
their
the
loss, yeah.
Super Bowl.
They got robbed.
Well, that's what I'm hearing.
That's a story for another day.
Another
That's
day.
right.
All right.
Right.
Brendan, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
All
Happy
right.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Take care.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Well, there you go. There's the scoopage on Mount St. Charles.
So technically, officially, starting next fall. So
Right.
they're going to carry through the rest of
So
the
all the
year.
basketball, all the hockey this year, and all the spring sports will all be part of the
spring
Interscholastic
lacrosse.
League.
I can tell you, it is not easy. Conferences for Catholic schools are very difficult to figure out because I was on the fee and planning committee for a couple of years while my son was there, and basically some of the other Catholic schools in southeastern Mass closed. So we all of a sudden didn't have a league and didn't have a conference, so we had to go find one. Nobody wanted us.
Yeah.
Too good?
In some cases, yes. In some cases, no.
No?
They
You're
were
not good
comfortable
enough.
with. They're just comfortable. So we ended up with the Catholic Central League, I think is what it is. But you're right. It requires now transportation far away. We're Martha's Vineyard. My son swam on
Right.
Martha's
Ferry.
Vineyard.
So
Very-
he just referenced Wheeler, who we play a couple of different teams in off season, like they'll do some scrimmaging and whatnot. But their fields are located up in Seekonk. They have like a shared complex up there with a few other private entities. So you're not just talking about going to Providence, let's say for a game. You're actually going to Rehoboth or Seekonk.
Right. A lot of
And
logistics.
it's the travel for. I'm sorry, but all I could think of when I was listening to him talk was the parents at Mount. How do
Right.
they feel about it? Because as a working parent, I already have a hard time when we play, Tiverton area on at a 3:30 in the afternoon game. That means you're leaving work early and then you're on the return, or even down to Portsmouth. I mean, these are not. Talk about Rhode Island mentality. I get
I know.
it. But anything that's an hour away. So if he's talking
yeah.
about playing up to the Boston area,
with traffic
Parents
and all
that
that
want
stuff,
to attend or not
you
be able to
gotta leave work
attend.
early if you can
yeah.
to go
And
up and
size
see.
scale of those teams, like Mount's pretty big. Like a school like Wheeler is not. So
Yeah.
they're not going to be able to play every single sport against a team like
Worcester
Wheeler.
Academy's huge.
Worcester Academy is
Yeah.
huge. So Mount might actually be a little guy too in this
Sure,
whole equation,
in
and their
the big
hockey
pond.
team might actually get some competition.
which would be good for them. I think
Well,
that's
yeah,
probably
and
It could
what
be
they're
grow.
looking
humbling. This
for.
could be a very,
Yeah.
very humbling experience.
All right. Well, that's what they've decided to
We
do.
wish
and-
Alan and the crew well.
Yeah, so best of luck with all that. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. More coming up, and it's time for the weather forecast brought to us by Compassion International.
Rain mainly before noontime. Rain could be heavy at times. Then, cloudy and clearing, high of 50, southeast wind gusting to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy, gradually becoming mostly clear, with an overnight low of 38. Thanksgiving Day, Thursday's weather, sunny with a high of 50. Friday, mostly sunny and 46. Saturday, sunshine and 35 for a high. Sunday, partly sunny and 43. Monday, chance of rain, partial sunshine and 46. And on Tuesday, mostly sunny and a high of 40.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. Cloudy skies. It is still raining. Temperature's going up a bit. We're at 47 degrees. Families in poverty are facing a global food crisis. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text that word radio to 97646.
A message from the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street, at the corner of Clinton and Cumberland Streets here in Woonsocket. The Carew Investment Group offers you personal management of investment accounts. Depending on what you're looking for, whether it be to enhance your current income, a 401k rollover, or retirement income, we'll put together a plan for you. We focus on using quality dividend-paying stocks of companies that you know, investment quality bonds, exchange-traded funds, and use the advantages offered by IRAs. You can contact Paul or Ed at the Carew Investment Group anytime for a free no-obligation portfolio review at 765-8880. Our office is at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket, and our telephone number again is 765-8880. You can also email Ed at ed@carewinvestmentgroup.com or visit the website at www.carewinvestmentgroup.com. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Dr. Jeffrey Dodge suggests you brush up on your brushing technique. Choose a soft toothbrush. Brush from side to side to avoid irritating your gums. Select a non-abrasive toothpaste, and you can even brush your tongue to help control bad breath. Brush especially after eating sticky foods like peanut butter, bananas, chewy candy, and dried fruit. Dr. Jeffrey Dodge, your family dentist on Park Avenue at Park Square, 762-3044.
Hi, Romeo Berthium here, and as chair of this year's Milk Fund Auction Committee, I'm appealing to the generosity of our listeners once again this year. The Milk Fund Auction depends on your support to achieve success. Won't you consider making a donation such as a small appliance, a gift basket, a small toy, or a gift card to this year's auction? You can help by dropping off your donations here at our 985 Park Avenue studios during normal business hours, Monday through Friday. You can also send your tax-deductible checks made out to Milk Fund Incorporated specifying the words "for auction" on the memo line by mailing them to ON Radio at 985 Park Avenue, Woonsocket, Rhode Island, 02895. These cash donations will enable us to purchase the ever-popular gift cards that are always an auction sellout each day. This year's live auction begins on Friday, November 24th.
We're always here for you. ON Radio.
It is Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith and Tim Draper. And Tim, time for a first message from Navigant Credit Union.
Well, Joe, I think it's important for us to spend time over the next few weeks talking about, how to protect yourself against scams. And right now, they're fast and furious. There's every kind of scam you can think of that's out there. And some of the scams that we've talked about in the past that you need to be aware of are the grandparent scams. You get the phone call, your son, your grandson, your granddaughter is in jail. They need to be bailed out. If you don't do it in the next 24 hours, they're going to go to court, blah, 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 blah. The grandparents freak out. They immediately go to the credit union. They try to take out $30,000 to send a wire to someplace in Texas. And, we are as conscious of this happening as you can possibly be. And our team is trained to spot these scams and then talk to our members about them. Now, in most cases, we can stop them before they happen through family intervention or other tools we have. But the reality is, our members, it's their money. They can do whatever they want to do with it. And as much as we can discourage them and try to convince them that it is a scam, we have had some members, unfortunately, take the money and run, and then they realize that they've done something horribly wrong, and they come back to us to get the money, and there's nothing we can do. So it's a sad situation, but it's important to bring it up because we want to make sure people don't fall for those types of scams. You know, some other scams are the romance scams. You know, you get attached and attracted to somebody online. They convince you that they're, you know, trying to get here to the United States to see you, and they need some money in order to get here because their money's all tied up in Nigeria or whatever. So, I mean, these are...
And that's
it's
how,
sad.
but they're legitimate.
It's
yeah,
sad,
legitimate scams,
and so you know, be your own advocate. Be skeptical of any time anybody's asking you for money, unless you want to truly give it to somebody because you're passionate about a cause. Just don't fall for these scams at all, and rely on us. Call us, even if there's not anything legally we can do. We can advise you in some cases on who to call.
Yeah.
So we're here for the financial well-being of our members. That is our mission. So use it to the best of your advantage. So navigantcu.org is our website. 233-4700 is the call center, and you could always just run into the branch up here in Woonsocket because we've got a great crew under Christian's leadership.
All right, there. Thanks, Tim. We got a note that was called in, 766-1240. Just says to the Coffee and Panel, happy Thanksgiving to all. And that's from our friend Moose.
Moose, happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Thank
Appreciate
you very
that.
much. Tim, any new information, because you live in Cumberland, about they were looking for the motorcyclist that hit the police officer at the Rotaries at Diamond Hill Road. It was a hit and run. He took off, headed up 295. Any new information on that?
No new information. They've got this a million Facebook posts out there right now, as you've seen. So it's
I've seen the pictures, the kind of the fuzzy pictures of the body cam from the police officer that he got of the motorcycle and the guy. He looks like he's about 60.
Yeah, he looks like an older gentleman on a well, almost looks like a scooter.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised. Didn't really get into how bad the cop was hurt.
He was
he
okay.
not hurt?
He wasn't
pushed
really
out
hurt.
of the way.
Yeah.
But I mean, something. If the cop was on the roundabout on the
he was directing
sidewalk,
traffic. So
okay, so he must have been in the street.
I think he was in the street.
All right. Well, it's crazy.
Witnesses coming into the rotary as well saw the person on the scooter or the motorcycle driving recklessly. Someone going like in and out like that.
Around,
So.
But again, he didn't look like a young kid who was acting foolishly or impulsively. So
he was wearing a helmet.
And he was wearing a helmet. I know. So he was responsible. Maybe he didn't know how to drive a scooter, and he was learning. And
he got away
just
from
got
him.
away from him. Possible.
And you hit somebody, you freak out. Oh my God, what do I do? And now he's
I hit a cop. Yikes! I'm going to get on the highway.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised they didn't catch him. It's not like the scooter goes very fast. Although if it was a motorcycle, it could go fast.
But he gets up to the Massachusetts. Now he gets off on Route 1.
Right.
And
Side streets.
And now he's on side streets in North Attleboro there or wherever.
And you're gone.
And you're going.
I think it'll be they'll have to get lucky to get that person. I think.
They will, but it is very grainy. One of the photos does show a license plate, I think, of the motorcycle.
I didn't notice that.
No, okay, I could be wrong.
It's gonna weigh in his conscience. He's gonna come forward.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Especially if he's wearing a helmet on a motorcycle. He's clearly got a conscience.
So that embattled Pawtucket police officer has irrevocably resigned. And what does that mean?
Which means you can't go back.
You can't
to the cop.
pull it back and say, I've changed my mind?
Irrevocable means you just can't do anything.
All right,
anymore.
so he's quit.
Giving up your rights in that case.
And the Law Enforcement Officers Bill of Rights trial that he was going to have, and now he's not going to have it. And so this is the guy that got in trouble down there in West Greenwich. West Greenwich? I think so.
West or East, yeah.
Where he was off duty, but he was telling some teenager.
No, he pulled a pulled a teenager over into a parking lot, and when the teenager and his passenger, they were clearly freaked out that somebody drove him off the road into this parking lot. I think they just freaked out. We came out with holding his badge up and brandishing his gun, and then he shot him.
That's right. All right.
He hit the kid. He shot the driver. So off duty. Now his excuse
that happened in June of 2021.
was that the kid was driving recklessly. I think he thought he was leaving a crime scene or something like that, and he was. But at that point, when you're a cop, and I guess you are a cop, even if you're off duty.
Yeah,
you're a cop. You're a cop.
Mm-hmm.
But
in a different community.
Yeah,
I don't think you shut it off. I think you're always.
But if you're a cop, you should have the self-control to say, all right, let me get this guy's license plate number, and I'm going to call the local authorities and say, this guy's on the run.
Said,
This
I'm a
is
cop.
deal. I'm a cop.
This
This
is
is
what's
what I
happening.
witnessed.
Yeah.
Right. Rather than,
Taking matters into your own hand.
right, the wild, wild west of I'm going to pull him over myself and take him out and then do it in front of a camera, which is just shocking to me. And not even somebody with a cell phone. This was a business, and the camera was on the building. So it caught everything.
I enjoy a good Dirty Harry movie like the next guy.
Right.
But this isn't Dirty Harry.
Right. What's interesting though is there's a lot of controversy out there about the police officers' Bill of Rights, and I think that they have to be allowed certain latitude in how they operate. They have to. It's just it's the only way you're going to be able to do that job successfully.
Yeah.
So there has to be a different set of guidelines, guardrails for police. But I do think that there's sometimes those guardrails are just they embolden the bad actors because they know the system, and it doesn't give management or authorities enough responsibility to rectify certain situations. And I know that's hard, and it's not a popular opinion, but everybody should be bound by some set of rules of some sort. It's
Well,
just
this,
it's a tough one.
And I feel like this story is going to impact recruitment, right? Like if I'm debating whether or not I want to be an officer someday or just,
Right.
change my career and maybe
But
join
I
the
think
police force, but I see a story like that and I'm thinking there's no room for error. There's no, so I guess I don't know actually what I'm trying to say other than
the question is, I guess
there's no forgiveness
The
for-
big thing is the board, the Leopold board is a review board of their officers' peers. So decisions, from what I understand, decisions tend to favor the officers versus the management. But that's because the peers could find themselves in that position someday. So naturally, you want to give everybody some latitude. I think they're looking for some reform on that board. Some new rules around it, which will allow for maybe a few other members of the public to be part of that review process and not have it be totally officers. And if I'm incorrect, anybody can correct me on that. But I think that's what I'm understanding the challenges for them.
Well, this officer in Pawtucket also had another issue besides the shooting of the teenager.
wow,
He
I
was
thought this was a one offense.
No. He's
Okay,
facing separate charges at an arrest in Coventry that took place in September.
But see, now that's
even his police chief said, "I want this guy out of here."
right. So they know
this
that
guy going.
this is the problem with that review board. Is I think that this guy has a history, has a past.
Yes.
But they can't consider any of that, and they can't look at it the whole record.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of stuck between a rock. So getting him to retire and just paying him and his family health care for the next year is probably the cheapest way they could get out of this.
I
deal.
totally misread this whole story, and my comment I take all of it back. I was going more from the angle of thinking it was just, like a one-time offense, and you started talking
there's a
about whether or
pattern
not
there.
it was
Right.
his town or not, and off duty and all that responsibility, and I take
Is
all of
he-
my commentary back.
Is he getting that, Tim? Is he getting his pension and all that stuff?
I don't
Is
know
that
about
part of the deal.
Probably get his pet, but right now the city, according to the story, the city is going to pay his health care and his family health plan for a 12-month period.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's $16,000 a
Yeah.
year, I think, in healthcare benefits.
All right, we're going to take another break here on the Coffee Ad program, so we swing back things back to Tim, who's got a second message from Navigant Credit Union.
Right. So we have an account, as you've heard on this radio, called the Embark account, and it's really a youth account that's designed for young people. It's what we call a spend account. We know that young folks are going to take in money and they're going to want to spend it on things. So what we're trying to do is encourage that type of behavior, but also teach the value of saving $1 or $2. Right? If we always talk about the 50-50 rule to credit union, and your rule with your children may be slightly different, but essentially, if you get an allowance or you have a job, we always try to tell the kids, listen, put 50% of the money that you earn into a bank account, into any account, right? The Embark account specifically is what we're talking about. And then, if you have you want to have some fun and go out with your friends and you go out on dates and things like that, then by all means, take the other 50% and do those things with that money. That teaches them that there always should be a safety net somehow, some way. You can still have fun, and you can learn to live within your means, but you've got a savings account that's built up for some important thing, like buying your first car, buying your first house, a motorcycle, a boat, whatever it is that you might want. You've got money saved up for that, and you've got money for an emergency situation. So the Embark account helps young people from that very first time they have to start interacting with money, to teach them those good habits. And of course, it's all under your supervision as the adult. So if you're interested in learning more about the Embark account, navigantcu.org, you can actually get the account online, open it up online. You can go into a branch, Christian up here in Woonsocket at 1280 Park Ave, or you can call us 233-4700.
All right, Tim, thanks. And the Coffee and program will continue here on ON Radio.
Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golumki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love. Introducing Bowling for Milk. Join your friends and neighbors at Walnut Hill Bowling Lanes on Sunday, December 10th from 2 to 5 p.m. for strikes, spares, and maybe a few gutter balls, but plenty of fun at Bowling for Milk. Just $25 gets you 2 strings of bowling and shoe rental, and the Milk Fund gets half. To add to the fun, we'll have a mini auction for just those in attendance, including an item donated by the New England Patriots. And ON Radio's Cruisin' Bruce Palmer will be on hand to spin the tunes and sign autographs. The Patriots don't play that week, so join us for Bowling for Milk, Sunday afternoon, December 10th from 2 to 5 p.m. at Walnut Hill Bowl on Diamond Hill Road, Woonsocket. It's a party to help the Milk Fund.
ON Radio.
ON Radio, it is Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan along with Tim Draper and Melissa Smith. And just a couple of events coming up for the Milk Fund, because the Milk Fund's kicking off on Friday. We'll have the Milk Fund auction to begin with. But we're doing celebrity bartenders at the Post 85 American Legion Post.
I might have to go to that
I'm
just to see
one of the
bartender.
celebrity bartenders.
I would love to be a celebrity bartender. Am I celebrity status? Are we
We're getting
celebrity
there.
status?
We're getting
Imagine
there.
the two of us behind a
So
bar.
it's going to be Dave.
I would be like Joe, though.
It'll be Dave Richards and Melissa Murray and myself. And all the tips we collect goes to the Milk Fund.
That's great.
They told me that
That's
after I
awesome.
agreed to do this.
There's no
What is your
benefit to you.
specialty drink?
I don't have
Beer.
one.
You're
None
going to
of
need to
it-
He's
make
going
a
to
specialty
pour
drink.
beer.
It was a beer jockey that Woody was on Cheers.
You know that you need the right angle of the glass,
Yes,
right?
that
You're
I
going to get
know.
made fun of if
That
you
I know,
have
yeah,
too
I
much.
know,
Okay.
40. No, you can't have too much foam.
Nope.
No.
And if I come and I ask for Guinness, will
You're
you be
gonna-
able to pour that
Oh, that's
correctly?
it's going to be difficult because
You're
I
going
don't
to have the
afford a
magical
Guinness.
spoon.
And we will have a tip
Magical
certified
spoon.
bartender with us when someone comes up and said, "I want a Cosmo."
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I talked to him.
But I think if you
So-
go in with a signature Joe drink, that's how you
I'll
guide
have
your
to make
customer.
one.
So you have to come up with something
Right.
that
Do something on the Jimmy Buffett thing.
I was
from
thinking I
the-
have to make like a margarita with
Yeah.
a splash of orange juice. I don't know.
when is
Yeah.
this that you're doing it?
It's December 5th.
Okay, we
at
got
the-
time.
At the American Legion Post 85 from 6 to 8 p.m.
We're
I'll be
going to
there.
come up with a recipe for you.
And then on December 10th, we're doing Bowling for Milk at the Walnut Hill Bowl, another Milk
Which I
Fund
think is
fundraiser.
greatest
Come,
name,
come on
Bowling
down
for
between
Milk.
2 and 5 for $25. It's two strings of bowling and rental shoes, and it's $25, and half the money goes to the Milk Fund. Cruz and Bruce will be down there spinning tunes, and we got a little something from the New England Patriots that we'll be raffling off.
That you
We
may
don't-
or
we
may
don't-
not wanna
We
win.
don't want to tell you what it is until you come down and take a look at it first. So there you go. So that's December 10th, 2 to 5. Patriots are not playing that Sunday. That's specifically why we picked that date.
Where did you-
not knowing they were going to be lousy, but
Where did you say the Beer and Dynamite's a Circle Loria? Where's the bartender?
yeah, the bar is American Legion Post 85 on River Street from 6 to 8. Up in Massachusetts, the number of migrant families arriving in Mass has dropped in recent weeks after the whole, hey, we've hit our 7,500 unit limit. We can't take anymore, so less is coming. But they still have 90 families on the wait list looking for places to stay. And they, you must have seen, they've come out, they said, okay, you can't sleep at Logan Airport. And now there's extra space in MBTA office buildings, like the 3rd and 4th floor. So they're renovating those.
So is
just so
this-
we can get people in there so they can lay down and go to sleep.
Are these the migrants that Texas is just busing up to Massachusetts and
I'm
dropping
not,
them
well, I'm
off
not
on
sure where
Laura
they're coming
Healy's
from.
front doorstep?
I think so.
Or is it they're just finding their way here because they're hearing through the grapevine that that's the place to go because
No,
they
I think
have
they're
houses?
they're being bussed here.
No?
Yeah.
We should figure out that border situation, and then this won't be a problem for the big cities like New York, Boston.
Is that all we have to do?
We just have to figure
Just
that out.
figure that
That's
out. Okay.
Is that all we have to do? Yes,
Well, I
that
don't
is
know-
actually it. That's all you have to do is figure it out.
I don't know why we haven't done that yet.
Seems to me it's a pretty simple solution, which
And
I will
what-
not get into on the air. But to me, it's a pretty simple
It's
solution.
simple to you.
We need
Okay.
to embark on a journey.
We need to embark
Down
on a
south.
right. Let's see now. Can I go into a foreign country without any documentation, anytime I want, and live there? No.
No. All right.
Not on any other country on the planet.
They'll toss you out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Or arrest you.
Yeah. All right. The president is in the area. Hi, Joe.
Oh, is he in the vineyard?
No, they go to Nantucket.
Oh, Nantucket.
Like for 40 years in a row.
Yeah.
Is their Thanksgiving tradition. You just never knew about it because he wasn't president at the time.
Right. He
But
did-
that's where Joe and Jill are right now. They're already there.
Okay.
And they'll be
Well,
there.
they can't fly there. I mean, they can't use the Air Force One, I don't think.
No, but you can they can helicopter
Yeah,
there
they can-
from off of Air Force One, right?
So they would have to.
I wonder
I wonder
if
if
they
they
flew
fly
into
in like
CF3.
Logan, probably not Green.
I wouldn't
Logan,
go until.
and then fly from then helicopter from Logan out to.
Or is there
Nantucket.
something on the Cape that they can land at?
Barnstable, Hyannis. I
Mm.
don't think that's a huge airport either. I mean, those are big planes. They also any plane that he's on is Air Force One, so he can
Well, right.
choose any of
It
those
just
government
changes.
planes.
Was
Yeah.
the Wings
They have a
show
couple of
taking
those.
place in Nantucket? No.
That was
it.
Nantucket.
That was Nantucket,
On
wasn't
Wings?
it?
Yeah, Wings was Nantucket.
I think it was
That
Nantucket.
airport
Yeah.
looked big enough. I'm just kidding.
That was such a great show.
That
We
was-
talked about that before. I'd say
It is such a good
love
show.
that Antonio Scarpacci.
And Lowell was great. And the guy that ran the competing airline.
Oh, he was funny.
He's
too.
passed.
Roy.
He's
Roy.
Roy.
He's passed
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
He
But
did.
he
Aw.
just your
That's
typical
the hard part of watching those old shows now.
Yeah.
Is you look
Right.
up to see
Oh,
if they're
dead.
still alive.
your typical
Aw.
scummy
Right. Well, Frasier
Bad
came
guy.
back, right? They rebooted Frasier,
Yeah.
and they talked about the father actually
passing away.
Right.
Yeah. I don't have Paramount Plus, so I
know,
haven't
I
seen
really
it.
wanna see
And I
that.
keep going on
Oh,
YouTube.
you do? I think it looks a little cheesy.
I want.
Night Court was a little cheesy
I
of a
want.
reboot.
I didn't
too,
like
but-
Night Courts. I want someone to put it on YouTube so I can see it for free. And
Right.
see if I like it. Also, they just show little clips, and here's the beginning. And I know Lilith has shown up, and I would like to
funny.
see stuff like that. So
I will just while we're on entertainment. I saw something yesterday that I didn't fully read or comprehend until after I put it away, and now I can't find it. Is Tom Hanks making a prequel to the Polar Express?
I just saw that advertised last night for
I didn't hear
Showtime.
that.
Right. Okay. So they've done a
Like a
how did he
specific
get to be
Showtime.
the conductor?
Oh,
It's
I'm
like
like,
a
I was my
prequel.
next question was, well, which character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He becomes, I guess,
He's
an
like a
angel or
young-
something, and then
he's a
he's
young-
And how
Yeah.
he
yeah.
becomes
I
the
can't wait
conductor.
to. I can't wait to see how that storyline goes. It's
'Cause I don't
interesting.
think there's a Polar Express was taken from the book.
Right.
So is there a prequel book that's out?
I don't think
Well,
so.
they
See
just
how
gotta-
your
just
wheels are
coming up-
spinning?
Right,
That's
I
the
think
whole
it's-
point of it.
I
They've
know.
done little marketing because they
Right,
want to
they've
bait
gone-
you in.
People who love the movie, which I do,
Mm-hmm.
I was always fascinated by how the amazing animation in that movie,
And the music.
and the music is
So good.
is just so good. Right.
Have you been to that furniture place in Massachusetts?
Oh, okay.
Jordan's.
Hey,
Oh,
thanks,
yeah, yeah.
Elizabeth. That shows the movie, not the whole movie, but
Yeah.
snippets from the movie in 3D.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
and you
no, I
sit in
did
a
not.
chair that vibrates and moves. It's
No way.
It's
I
really
haven't seen that either.
I need
You
a
haven't?
couch,
Oh, I've
so maybe
gone.
I'll go.
it's fun, crowded.
Is it the
Yeah.
one up in
in
Avon?
In Avon,
Okay.
yeah. But last time I went, $6 or $8, I forget what it was. It's like 20 minutes.
Yep.
And so you're in a kind of basically a recliner, but it moves forward to the sides and up and down as the train goes.
Oh, that
and
is
and it
cool.
rattles along like you're on the tracks. And of course you get 3D glasses in, and so and you down the hill, you go whoa.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
cool.
it
That
is,
sounds
it's
like
actually
fun.
it is actually a lot of fun. So it being Thanksgiving tomorrow, there's a new survey out, and do you at your gatherings do you navigate what the conversation is going to be and say if anyone starts talking Trump, Biden, do you tell them to shut up? No politics at the Thanksgiving table. Is that a rule?
Well,
Or
since
just-
my
or does it never
father-in-law talks
happen?
about nothing but himself, we don't usually get anywhere beyond.
It doesn't go beyond that, huh?
No.
All right.
And I can say that because they don't live here. They're not listening this morning. So that sounded very mean of me, but I just want to assure you all that.
A new Quinnipiac University national poll says more than 60% of Americans would rather not talk about politics at the Thanksgiving table.
I can tell you that for events we've had, we try not to steer to politics
Yeah.
or religion. And our family's very spiritual and very
Yeah.
Catholic, so we couldn't talk about religion and we'd all be on the same page. Politics, not so much.
Yeah.
I've got
It's
two polarized.
It's a
I've got
division
two-
between ages.
Right.
So is mine. So
Yeah.
the younger crowd likes this side, and the older crowd likes that side. And,
Right.
and you're not going to change the minds of either one. So
No,
there's
I
no
just
reason
find
to
that I
talk
find
about it.
myself sitting in the car every once in a while, and I'm listening to talk shows. And,
Yeah.
and I'm hearing how a little protests that are going on right now, and I'm thinking to myself, how in the world do these kids even know what it is they're protesting for? I feel
They-
like most
they
of them have
don't.
no idea. It's
Yeah.
just it's the thing to do, right?
They see
don't
the
understand
images.
that.
They see the bad images
Right.
of the young children
Yep.
On
in
social
Gaza
media, it was
that are
feeding
in
them
trouble.
what they want to feed them.
And all they know is Israelis bombing them, and aren't they awful?
Right, and aren't they awful?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a genocide on Palestinians. And I think that's exactly the opposite of what's happening. But anyway,
It
that's
is,
a whole other
right.
conversation.
Nope, it's true.
But I find myself sitting there going, this is what it must have been like in the 60s with my parents and their parents. And then me and my parents going through the 80s.
Yeah.
But I don't recall much turmoil and protest in the 80s. It seemed a little calmer than the 60s.
We didn't come.
from the 60s
When we
to-
found out that the Iran-Contra thing was going on in the '80s, we didn't go rushing to the streets and say Reagan must be taken out of office,
right,
kind of thing.
Exactly.
We just said, okay, that happened.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Hopefully they arrest those guys.
Yeah. All right,
but I
back to our studies.
I have just become an old man. That's my thought. I look at him. These young whippersnappers don't know what they're talking about. That's what I feel like. I feel like the guy from Up, the old
Yeah,
man from Up,
Carl.
grouchy old man.
Yeah.
It does feel like very helpless in society, though. You feel like it's like you're almost surrendering now because it's just so divided. Every topic you just hit it, like religion, politics, anything you even touch upon. People are just very divided. It's just a very negative world we're living in right now, and it's hard to stay positive. And hopefully, there's none of that conversation. Maybe there's a sign at the door on the way into your house saying, "Leave the baggage at the door. Only sunshine and rainbows entering this house for Thanksgiving."
Sunshine and rainbow. I like that. That should be a sign. Somebody should make a lot of money.
Well,
on
we
this
always-
sign. do an Etsy store and just you create a sign that says leave your baggage at the door.
Can I retire
Only
early on
sunshine
that?
and
I wonder.
rainbows.
I say it all the time. I just need to hug more. We just need it's just exhausting. It's
Right.
exhausting watching the news. It's exhausting following anything political, anything religious, anything.
I'm surprised at how many people are accepting of hugs these days.
Because of COVID? Or?
Well, no, just because I think most people are handshake people now. Like
Yeah.
a lot of my friends are just like we just hug when we see each other for if we haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah.
It's going a little bit beyond the handshake, and it's certainly not COVID approved. But I mean, it's a more friendly. I think it's just a more.
But all right, how about this then? In an ironic move,
Oh boy.
being Catholic myself, no more handshakes at church.
Yeah, people are not.
They just
I think it's
they put up the peace sign.
right.
to
It is
everybody.
definitely
That's
it's definitely changed. No,
Yeah.
Father Joe.
If you
still
want-
says,
if you wanna
right,
shake hands, you can.
show a sign of peace. Well, that's technically the
Sign of peace.
The V is a
Yeah.
sign of peace.
In the
so
US
a
it is.
wave, a
You can
nod,
wave,
a
yeah,
smile.
yeah.
But my family, I still shake hands, kiss.
But you
and-
don't have kids with you. I feel like if I go to church without my kids,
Yeah.
handshakes are happening
Yeah.
with me. If I have my kids with me, and I think it's got to be that germphobic,
Really?
whatever
Yeah.
you want to call
Interesting.
it. That maybe some of the older people in church don't
Well,
want to
that's
pick
it.
up whatever your kids are bringing home from
Yeah.
school.
Right. I'm gonna
But
pay
with
more attention to that.
with the strangers there at the church, you go to stick out your hand and nothing comes back.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's always
Right.
I always kind of look down to see if there's
Look at
there's
the
movement in
handout.
the arm at all, and if there is, then I'll extend my arm. But otherwise, I'm just giving the hey peace
The
sign,
old peace sign. Okay.
bag wheels.
It's funny. I never used to like with coworkers, you're entering a holiday, for example, yesterday, if you were not going to be there today or whatever, and we're hugging goodbye. Have a great Thanksgiving. And we're doing hug goodbyes. And I'm like, this is so nice. And
It's
it
just
is
the way it
something
used
that's
to
a
be.
product of, I think, the pandemic. We've gone through something together, really awful. We've all bonded through it. And now it's like we're in touch on a different level.
We had to
And,
we had to be so separate,
So separate.
which
Yeah.
was so isolating and so sad on every level. And I'm not sure we even needed, I mean, at the beginning we needed to do it, but I'm not sure it dragged on a little too long. But the fact that, we can get to that point, we can
Yeah.
get back to that point, and now we're compensating a little bit overcompensating for it, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that it's important that.
Well, as we wrap up the show, Melissa Murray and I are going back and forth. So we've been asking everybody in the Coffee and panel a very important question in terms of Thanksgiving. When it comes down to cranberry sauce, out of the can or the real thing?
Oh, I like
Melissa
both.
Melissa Murray, I'm so sorry, but it is all about the can.
All about the can. All
I
right?
like both. I like
You do?
both. Yeah, I like
Okay.
them for very different reasons, but I like them both. I like the tartness,
Tartness
of
of
the
the real.
homemade,
That's what I
and,
don't
and
like
that's my
about it.
grandmother. Like
sweetness.
that's that nostalgic taste
Right.
when you have it, and then the can,
the-
undeniable,
can
delicious.
is
So more
Great.
importantly, if Melissa, you should try, if you're out there listening, you should try brown bread in a can. The B&M brown bread in a can.
Oh,
Why?
Why?
Because it's delicious. Put
Is
some
it?
butter
It is?
on it.
Yeah.
Next, you're
molasses.
gonna say spam. I'm
No,
waiting for
no,
that
no,
to
no,
come
no,
next.
no. Although I will not lie that is not a horrible thing. But I will say
Brown bread.
B&M brown bread in a can.
So, can you ask
right.
Melissa her canned
Yep.
cranberry sauce question? Are you a slicer? Are you a dicer? Are you a scooper? How do you
It's
plate
a
and
slice.
display your
you lay it
cranberry?
flat so you can see the ribs
It
on
depends.
the can. And
You
then
got to
slice.
see the ridges, but it also depends on who likes cranberry sauce at the table.
Right.
Because at mine, I'm the only one. So
You get the
I
whole
don't give
can
you
for
the can.
yourself?
I don't have to slice it. I just,
Scoop it right
Scoop
out.
it right
I
out
like
of the
to
can.
eat it like a banana, actually, but if I could. But I don't. That gets kind
You
of
know, it's
messy.
like a can of jelly, right? Like,
Exactly
But
right.
if there are others, yes, you slice it up and
Squeeze
try
it through
to
his fingers
try to
and
be.
stuff as it's
Oh,
holding.
that's great.
I didn't know if you got a little fancy and put a little extra effort into it.
No.
So it's the rings, and then you're cutting the rings in half, and then you're dicing it. But it's
No.
That is a very good point. I mean, if you classed it up a little bit, it would be so much better.
a little
not-
garnish, a
It's
little,
not me
little
classy
parsley on
holding
the
it in my
side.
hand.
Shoving it in your pie hole? No, it's not.
Then I will not take pictures this year. All right.
Oh no,
that'll-
you must take pictures and bring them to the show on Wednesdays.
That'll do it for the show for today. So thank you very much for listening in. Tim Draper, thanks for coming
Joe,
in.
thanks for having me. And I know it's raining, but enjoy the God-given day and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving to you. Melissa, thanks for coming in as well.
Thank you for having me. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
This is Joe. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Wednesday to you. And enjoy the rain.
Yeah, thanks.
Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do your members at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Well, Thanksgiving travel in Rhode Island and throughout the entire southern New England region is being impacted by a coastal storm today on one of the busiest travel days of the year. Started last night, and the local forecast is for 1 to 2 inches of rain depending on where you are. It's about 1 here in the Blackstone Valley. Winds gusting 30 to 40 miles an hour. Snowfall was likely at the beginning of the storm for our area, but to the west and north of us, varying amounts of accumulations of the white stuff is possible. The Rhode Island Community Food Bank released its annual status report on hunger in the state yesterday. From January through September of 2023, it helped 30% more people each month than it did in the year 2022. The report found that 29% of households in the state are unable to afford adequate food. 29%. Meantime, food prices are up 11% between July of 2022 and July of this year.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. The Israeli government has signed off on a deal that will lead to the release of some hostages now being held by Hamas in Gaza. Rory O'Neill reports.
In addition to a 4-day pause in fighting, Israel now agrees to turn over 150 women and children being held prisoner in exchange for 50 women and children who were taken hostage by Hamas October 7th. Israel said it would extend the pause in fighting 1 day for every 10 additional hostages set free. An estimated 240 people are being held captive, including a 3-year-old orphaned American girl who is expected to be among the first released.
Sam Altman is returning as the CEO of